Yo, yo. What's up? Just gonna share this. Wait for some people to come in. Yo, yo, what is up? What is up? Just hold on tight. I'm just gonna get a drink. Just a sec. What is up? What is up? Today I have a guest on the show. Come here. Today I have Happy. Happy's a guest on the show today. MLD went to Osaka, so I had to look after Happy. Happy's a good little character. Looks a little bit tired. Rode the subway today. Yeah, she's a good dog. All right. So let me know who's in the chat. Today I want to talk about the state of Western countries versus Japan, because I think it's kind of relevant in these times. Let me check. Just gonna get it. Just hold on a sec. Yo, yo, what is up? All right. So, yeah, so it's been a long day. It is 8 p.m. here in Japan. I've been up since about, well, actually, I was late. I got up late today. I was late for work. What can you do? That's a big no-no in Japan if you're late for work, but whatever. It's all good. I made it there. Just learned about the importance of resilience this afternoon. You need to elaborate on that. Today I thought I would talk about the, the way things are going in around the world, and especially in Western countries, because you're getting rejected. Gray Fox getting rejected. I mean, getting rejected is entirely part of the game. You can't you can't be a player and not get rejected, because that's just gonna happen. Uh, the more resilience you have, the more pussy you're gonna get. So stick in there, and you will succeed eventually, because the rewards are great for those who stick it out, um, and learn game, because you know my sex life is great, like, because I have resilience and I learned game. So stick it out, have resilience, keep approaching, be relentless, have tenacity. Life is tough, but for those who pursue and stick it out, they will, those are the people that succeed. I've learned you can't play poker and expect to win every hand the hard way. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. Um, you can't expect to win every time. And as guys, it's our job to pursue. You look at nature, like look at nature programs, like look at the way lions pursue the lionesses. Gorilla pimping, how gorillas have a harem of females. These females don't come to them. Even dogs. If you ever grew up with, dogs. I grew up. I always had dogs, and I had a bitch, and they rarely stray far from the house, even when they're in heat. When they're but if you have a male dog, if you have a dog, he will just leave. You can't hold the dog. They will go in search of pussy. They will search for it. They will travel miles and miles. That's why a lot of people get their dog they get their dog this snip. I hate the idea of people doing that to dogs, but because as dogs, we got to go and chase. We got to sniff it out. And if you're not willing to do that, you're going to be one of these black pill guys that are just complaining about life all the time, that just, they see the world through a blue, almost like a blue pill lens, even though they're black pill. That negativity is just going to hold you down, and not, you're just never going to succeed in that way. So, yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's good to be in Tokyo. If you're in the chat, let me know where you're at. Which countries are you at? I know. Is it Gray Fox is in Malaysia? Is that right? I don't know how things are in Malaysia right now, but here in Tokyo, it's completely normal. It's almost 100% normal. John M, Melbourne, Australia. I heard it's pretty bad in Australia. I heard the government in Australia are fairly, hard at being, taking people's rights away, stopping, people getting arrested. All right, just Victoria. Yeah, because my home country, Ireland, it's one of the worst places to be right now, probably in the world, I would say. Maybe. Like there's a right now in Ireland, there's a 6-week lockdown. 6-week lockdown. People can't go outside of their 5 kilometers outside of their home. And I think even if they leave their home, they can get, if they don't have an excuse as to why they're leaving, they can get fines and whatnot. Why Victor Wu says, why did you go to Japan? I went to Japan. I came here in 2015. Um, uh, what up, Sergio? Glad you're joining. Um, yeah, so I came here in 2015. It's I'll try and cut it as short as possible. But I was dating a Korean girl. At this time, I was considerably blue pill as well. I was dating a Korean girl. My so her visa ran out. I was going to go and work in Korea, and I him and hawing about. She was already gone, and I was trying to get a visa. I was trying to search for a job while I was in Ireland. I was going to go to Korea. I wanted to. And my brother at the time was kind of he had broken up with one of his girlfriend. He had been reading Rollo Tomasi's work, and I think he was in that phase where he wanted to red pill everyone around him. And so he sent me a couple of articles, and I read them and whatever. And after reading them, I got that kind of red pill rage. I was very angry at my brother, but I realized that what they were saying, they made a lot of sense. I basically got red pilled after reading what he had sent me, and I broke up with my Korean girlfriend. But I still wanted to travel, and one of my housemates, which happens to be Japanese, good friend of mine. He still lives in Ireland. He's like, you should go to Japan. It's better than Korea. Anyway, of course, he's going to say that. He's Japanese, so yeah, he was like, yo, you can teach English in Japan. You can live there. You'll have a good time. So I just looked for. I wanted to get out of Ireland. I was kind of not doing much. I was kind of being a waster, to be honest. And I came here in 2015, and just wanted a kind of adventure. I came here with an open mind. I just wanted to change the scene, and it just there was no way I was going back to Ireland after a year. I've been here 5 years now, and after the first year, I was like, nah, I'm not going back to Ireland. It's just no way. I mean, even if you're a high level player in Ireland, I don't think you could even come close to the being. Even if you're a low level player in Japan, if you have some game, but you're not great, but a low level player in Japan is going to beat a high level player in Ireland in terms of numbers every time, because just the volume, the numbers here, the population, just the size of the place, there's just so many more options. In Ireland, it's a very small country, so there's only much you can rinse it, There's only so many women, and Okay, what up, Peter? Good to see you join. Long time no see. Yeah, hit me up on Telegram. We need to chat again. Yeah, so are English women feminine? I mean, let's just say the bell curve is more extreme in I think in Western countries. There's certainly some feminine English women, but in this day and age, there's a lot of very, very masculine West English women. Very masculine, very just not very attractive. Just the way that's the effect of feminism on the Western world, has really, really messed up women. Has really given some serious. Yeah, feminism, it's like the blue pill for women, and they really swallowed it hook, line, and sink, and they're paying the price for it. You can see. That's a good question. Do Karens exist in Japan? Very good question. The only Karens that exist in Japan are Western women, and even the Japanese women that go abroad to study English or work or whatever, they can come back and they can bring the brand of feminism with them. And the thing is, they're still not as bad as a Western Karen. They still would never behave like a Western Karen, like in the thumbnail for this. I'm sure you've seen, the with the election going on in the States, the absolute breakdown of mainly, let's be honest, it's mainly white women. Um, White women have swallowed the pill, the feminism pill, hook, line, and sink, and they're paying a huge price. And I'd say let them learn the hard way. Um, my generation, millennials, I'm 32 years old, so my generation of women are gonna have massive levels of depression. It's going to be unprecedented. Um, I saw an interesting graph. It was floating around Twitter. Some of you guys might have seen it. I think it was kind of a viral thing. Rolo Tomasi tweeted it. It was a graph showing the number of prescription antidepressants over the I can't remember when, but since the 60s. I don't know. It was a study done, and it showed that white women are taking antidepressants, prescription antidepressants more. Like the graph is just like going to the moon. Like they're just more than any other population. They're probably gonna surpass men, because I know men have a serious issue too, as in terms of suicide and things. It's always that men are, women are suffering more than men, but the statistics show that Western men have a serious epidemic in suicide. But I can see women catching up on that too, because once they realize they swallowed that feminism pill, and they wait, maybe if they wake up. But the thing that makes me think they will never really wake up is because it's the doubling down kind of thing. Let's see. Ireland has an IQ problem along with most of the West. This leads to feminism. That's a very good. That's very true, and it's because of the brain drain. Ireland is a very small country. It's an island country, and not only due to economics, but due to the fact that it's a small place, people want to get out of the country. It creates a brain drain, and this leaves a lot of the smartest people leaving to seek employment, adventure. It's just, and it leaves not a lot of the best people behind. Of course, there are great people left in Ireland, but they're outnumbered. They're outnumbered by idiots. And we see this Ireland, accepting crazy things, accepting loss of freedom, allowing basically fascism to take hold, like the real sense. I believe there's people are basically under house arrest in Ireland right now, which is insane. I'm here in Tokyo, total freedom, can go anywhere I want. There's absolutely nothing. Like I said, I've said it numerous times. The only thing here is face masks, and that's not even enforced. I don't have to wear a face mask. I can go out anywhere. It's not legal. There's no laws. There's nothing telling me I have to do that. So it's basically within Japan, every nightclubs are open, full on, like packed out nightclubs. Saturday night, go to a nightclub, it's packed. There's like, wedged with people, bars. I'm very happy to be in Japan, but it does make me sad to see what's going on in other countries, because I like to travel. I want to be able to travel and go places, but I don't know. Victor, do you think for an Asian woman to study abroad is a good thing? Oh, no, man. I mean, Asian women that go abroad come back tainted. They come back. Most of them will kind of, they'll swallow a bit of the feminism pill, because it's going into the Western countries now. It's toxic. It's a toxic environment for anyone, and the culture is, it'll warp. It's not a good thing, because they'll come back and they'll try and bring the feminism with them. I don't see why it would be a good thing for Asian women to study abroad. Um, Mac Gray Fox says, Mac, what does a woman truly want from a man? What a woman truly wants from a man is to be told what to do. She wants to be told what to do, and she wants to be dominated. As soon as a guy starts, deferring to women, she loses all respect. She loses all respect, and I've seen it. I've seen it countless times. I mean, women are almost the more, it sounds crazy, but the more like respect you show a woman, the more they will disrespect you, basically. Rollo Tomasi has written a lot about it, but there's all kinds of little things that what they truly want is to be dominated, and they want a guy they'll always want a guy that is better than them in every way. They're basically, they want someone that is to look up to, and they will feel safe around. So the idea of feminism, as men and women are equal and we're all the same and there's no difference between men and women, that is just the complete antithesis to what women actually want. And you could go down the rabbit hole. You could say that it could be like a depopulation strategy by the globalists, trying to control, trying to divide men and women. Kind of ties into what's going on in the world right now. Especially, I was just talking to a friend, and we were discussing how the birth rates since this bear bug has hit have probably plummeted like massively, because people aren't well, not probably, definitely. It just use your common sense. You don't need to look at any statistics or any, just obviously there's no night in most countries, there's no nightclubs, there's no bars open. Women have swallowed the whatever government propaganda. They're terrified to women especially swallow propaganda much harder. That's why you always see the women and the men swallowing the propaganda, the beta men. It's never the alpha dudes that swallow the propaganda. You know what I mean? They'll think for themselves, they'll think independently. But when it comes to women, they will 100%, viciously support what the mainstream media says. Like, really, they'll aggressively support. And if you disagree with what the mainstream media thinks, they'll think you're a creep. They'll think you're weird. They're so, normie is just such a, no, normie is just such a, they're just normies, basically. They'll follow whatever the news says. They would never consider that. Most of them don't even know what the word propaganda means. Yeah, so Matt, can't women's instincts tell that feminism is bullshit? Well, I mean, the propaganda is so heavy that it has tricked them. some women see that it's bullshit, and they don't fall for it. Eventually they realize that it's bullshit, but at that point it's too painful to realize and admit that they've been wrong. I mean, there's plenty of women. You can find plenty of women on YouTube and around that, they're in their 40s, and they'll admit that they were wrong, and that it's incredibly painful for them to realize now that they've missed the boat. To have a family, to have a husband, to experience giving birth. That ship has sailed into eternity, and that's incredibly painful for women. So they either, some of them that are just kind of, some of them will admit it, but very few, because it's easier to double down on the ideology and get more and more extreme about their politics, and they'll continue to try and indoctrinate the up and coming generation of women with feminism. And that's what's happening basically. And I don't see my generation, like I'm 32, girls my age, I know very few women around that I grew up with. I can see from Facebook and various, I know that very few of them are married or have children. They have, and that 32, being a man at 32 and being a woman at 32 are very, very different things. As a man, we're just coming in. You're still not even at your peak. I feel like I'm not at my peak. Like I have another good 4 or 5 years before I feel like I'll reach my peak. I feel like I'm still growing into myself and getting stronger. And it's just, I have no complaints about being a dude. But a woman at 32, that's like, I mean, if you're a high value guy, if you have your life put together, if you've got your money sorted, if you have your health sorted, if you're an intelligent guy, you're not going to be looking to 32-year-olds. And men get slaughtered for, the women just despise this in men, that we choose younger women. And the thing is, they know that it's true. They know that youth is their value. It's not even anyone's fault. It's just nature. It's not our fault as men. We want young, fertile women to even subconsciously, not even aesthetically, young women just attract us better. Not only is it aesthetic, but it's also biological. Younger women produce healthier offspring. It's the same in the animal kingdom. We are animals. It's just the way it is. It will be okay. It will be wise for me to remember that. Should red pill guys pretend to embrace feminism to score Western women? That's an interesting question. However, I mean, I have no moral issues with salting these women. However, I would never personally pretend to embrace feminism unless it was kind of ironic. I might do it in an ironic way, but I would never have that as an actual strategy, just because feminism is, in my opinion, just the most toxic ideology. I don't want to support it in any way whatsoever. It's a very kind of beta strategy as well. I mean, that's what beta guys do. They support. They pretend to, they'll they'll vouch for feminism. They'll pretend to be feminists, but in an unironic way. They'll even tell other guys that they're feminists. I support feminism. Oh, how dare you disrespect, my lady, and their notch count. They've probably slept with like, you know, around 10 girls. You know what I mean? It's kind of a pathetic way to get your pussy, and it's just, what is the right word for it? I just don't know. It makes me kind of feel just disgust at guys that use that technique. They're just slimy, creepy fucking losers. Like I said, if you're gonna do it in an ironic way and just be kind of like devious about it and like, yo, yeah, I support your female rights and all this and like, yeah. But like, if you're just doing it to get laid, sure, go ahead. But as long as you acknowledge that you're being like manipulative, because these fucking beta ass guys are just the creepiest manipulators ever, and they will stab guys like us in the back, these weak guys, these slimy guys, because they can't get women in the honest fashion, like, straight up, just going up to a woman and being upfront. They're just too cowardly to do that. They will never do that. They will say, "Oh, I support your rights," and they'll pretend, they'll go to the women's march and I support women's rights and all this bullshit. Isn't it a question of, if you pretend long enough, you might start to believe it? Don't you think you'll become what you're surrounded by? That is very, very true. I mean, if you're around other guys that pretend to be feminists or whatever, and other women, women that demand that you are a feminist, if you're not gonna, you'll either turn into what they believe, you'll start believing what they believe, or you'll go crazy. I'd probably go crazy, because the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. You can't hang around people like that. Those people will melt your brain with just like hypocrisies. You want to be around people that are truth tellers, people who believe in rational, people are honest people that are just value facts, and just don't spout bullshit, because if you surround yourself by bullshit, you will become bullshit yourself. Artemis, it's the sneaky fucker game that Rolo discussed a few times. Yes, it is definitely the sneaky fucker game. Absolutely. I mean, Joe Rogan has had it. I can't remember who it was, but I remember I saw an episode on Joe Rogan. It was a long time ago. I maybe I can't remember, but I saw it, and it was an ex feminist guy, and he got super destroyed by he was a feminist, basically an ex feminist, and he was one of these guys that would be on Twitter and retweeting and supporting, we need equal rights for women, and like constantly just spouting bullshit on Twitter all the time, and stabbing guys. The worst thing about these feminist guys is that they'll stab honest guys like us in the back. So that's why I cannot stand these guys. They will stab you in the back. They'll sell you out. These are the kind of guys that these are the kind of creepy guys that you see at a house party, that would kind of wait till a girl passes out and then try and kiss her. These are the kind of slime bags that they're so miserable, so they have no ability to get a woman in the honest kind of straight up fashion, that they'll just become creeps. um and you know, you don't want to be surrounding yourself by those guys. um yeah, what's up, Henry? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see, when I say something like enjoy the decline, I don't, it's, some people will be like, oh, that's a bit negative. That's like a bit of a black pill. But it's not, because I'm saying like enjoy it. Like, you know, like I think us guys, we need to understand that like if you're a red pill guy, you are in the super minority. Like it there's no, like there's so, it's such a minority of guys. If you go out there, talk to a normal guy, it's going to be like Joe Normie. He's going to be a normal guy. He doesn't think like us. He doesn't think outside the box. He reads the newspaper. He listens to the news. He doesn't think, oh, this is propaganda. These are lies. This he doesn't even think it's a possibility. These guys haven't come into contact with the kind of information we have come into contact with. So it's I don't think we're going to change it. And that's not to be negative. That's just to say it kind of gives me comfort, because you're not going to change the way the Western world is going, or the world in general. So, you know, you kind of got to carve your own, you know, life out. Make life as good as possible for you, and don't get too, you know, bogged down in the how bad it is getting, because you know, you're not gonna, as you know, us red pill guys aren't gonna change the world. We're not gonna save the West, you know. So what you can do is you can kind of accept that, continue to not swallow the bullshit, you know what I, but be kind of smart about it. I mean, if you're working in, if you're in an office, if you have a job, you you know, if you're working with a bunch of SJWs and you whatever beta males, first of all, you should try and get out of that environment. But if you can't, you know, don't don't make life harder for yourself by trying to red pill people that don't have the intelligence to be red pilled. Just kind of, you know, I'm not, you know, you should never kind of join in with it, with what they're, you know, they believe, but just avoid conversations with them about those kind of topics, because these people will stab you in the back, and these people will try and make your life miserable. If these people are psychotics, if you're not on board with their progressivism, they will come for you. It's it's a crazy time, but you know, just try and become as independent as possible, and become free. Ultimately, ultimately, if you're a red pill guy, you want to be getting fuck you money. That's the goal. Like, I think every red pill guy wants to have that fuck you money, so we can just be 100%, you know, independent and free, and just like say whatever hell we want, anywhere, anytime. What advice? The real Ace of Slays says, what advice would you give a musician who spreads blue pill awareness through his music, but is afraid that the girls he DMs Marcus Stu will sell him out in the future? So, okay. So, are you saying that you're the musician spreading spreading blue pill awareness through his music? I would say, why are you spreading blue pill awareness? I'm not sure. Are you saying that you're spreading blue pill? The blue pill? I'm not sure what you mean, but okay. So you're spreading the blue pill. Um, yeah. Why? I would say, why are you spreading the blue pill? You shouldn't spread the blue pill because it's garbage. So you don't need to. Are you doing it to get laid or what? You shouldn't. Um, you should try and just spread whatever. Yeah, blue pill isn't the way. But and why would you say? Um, why would you be afraid that the girls in your DMs would out you? I'm not sure. Um, yeah, most. Yeah, good. Yeah, Artemis. Most all music spreads blue pill stuff. I mean, any kind of entertainment these days spreads blue pill. Um, if anything in the mainstream is going to be blue pill material. Bruno, I barely listen to any kind of pop music. I do like some hip hop because the songs I don't like. The only kind of hip hop songs I like are when they're talking about bitches, because that's kind of hip hop is kind of red pill when it comes to talking about women. That's some of the hip hop I be listening to. They talk about the way they talk about women. There's a lot of truth in that. There's you know um, yeah. I named the project Blue Pill Chills. I'm spreading awareness of the blue pill. Okay, well, so you're kind of telling, so you're spreading awareness about how the blue pill is like. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. You're telling people about the dangers of blue pill through your music. Is that uh, is that what you're trying to say? Um, yeah. Well, I mean, in that case, I mean, in that case, I applaud what you're doing. If I thought you were saying you were like trying to spread like blue pill ideals, but if you're like kind of using your craft to spread awareness about the dangers of blue pill, then that's pretty cool. Yeah. I wouldn't worry. Don't worry, man. You shouldn't worry about what women think about your craft. If you want to make music like that, just go ahead and do it. Don't worry about what women think about it. Yeah, man. So yeah, there's yeah, but so I don't know. I don't think things are going to change in anytime soon. Uh, Especially it's 2020 and this year has been crazy, the craziest year. I don't know where it's going to go in 2021, but I think it's probably going to get more extreme and more polarized. There's going to be a lot of polarization. Spritzer, the classic liberal, says, "What do you think the driving force behind blue pill ideals, capitalism, or culture?" I guess that's a good question. I think it's because the the Western societies have become so feminized that it's everything revolves around the female imperative. they're trying to, I don't know, you could go down a rabbit hole about it, but in one way, I think, on the conspiracy side of things, I think they're trying to divide men and women so that they can kind of depopulate and get rid of nation states and make places like Europe just one kind of nation, not even a nation, just one kind of block where we're all just mixed in together, and there's no, that we're controlled by a super kind of elite that can that just make men and women equal, and basically getting rid of the family unit, because that's already happening, and they're achieving it, because men and women are being completely divided. Men bowing the knee to feminism all the time. What do we got here? Being capitalism has to be the blue pill, because the Artemis says because the blue pill, they know men buy stuff primarily to impress women. That's very true. I mean, everything around us is to impress women. Everything you see is made, and is made by men. Sure, women help in the process, but all construction, look at all the infrastructure, roads, buildings, cars. These are all made. This is all men building this stuff, and at the end of the day, it's done to impress women to some extent. Everything revolves around trying to impress women. Is I keep going back to this point, but we're animals, and we're trying to procreate, and to some extent, even just getting up in the morning. You're trying to you need motivation to try and, as guys, we need motivation to get up in the morning to, I don't know. It's just, yeah. But in that case, what do you think of Brexit? Brexit. Oh, Brexit. Brexit was definitely Brexit was an effort to really, yeah, that was kind of escape what the current paradigm in Europe, because the European Union is throwing its weight around seriously, and British people, they kind of had enough of that, and they tried to get out of it. I guess they did, but I don't even know what's going on. But they're if you look at what's going on in the UK in terms of the in terms of the beer bug, there is almost as bad as Ireland. I think Ireland is worse in terms of restrictions, but even though the UK left the EU, they're still kind of following these these globalist kind of ideas that are really destroying countries. Yeah, we got to watch Tim Dillon, Gates of Hell. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm out here in Japan, and like I said, it's just such a better deal to be here. We have freedom. We can go anywhere. Bars are open. Nightclubs are open. It's just I have no desire to go back. No desire to go back to Western countries at the moment. I don't even know how, what, because it seems like these people who are behind this current situation are intent on, following through with it, and they're being very successful. It doesn't look like it's going to fail. It doesn't look like the cavalry are going to arrive and someone's going to save the day and we're going to go back to normal. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. I don't think it looks like they mean business this time. They're changing the way the world works, and they're going to follow through with it. And they have too many foot soldiers to support them. Low IQ foot soldiers, normies in the millions. And the elites rely on these normie foot soldiers to get the job done. Because these normies are the people that enforce by shaming, by, we're talking about the Karens of the world, the Karens and the beta males that, it's kind of depressing when if you go on any kind of social media and look at a post and you'll see a Karen say, demand that people get arrested for not wearing a mask, or that they get massive fines, and there'll be thousands of likes on their comments. Like, there'll be thousands of likes, and this is just you look through the comments and there'll be hundreds of comments on some of these posts, and there'll just be beta males, Karens, and then there'll be one guy that will say, oh, this is bullshit or whatever, like this is like fascism, basically talking about the truth, and he'll get criticized. He'll get, there might be like 20 likes on his post, but there'll be tons of comments criticizing him. And this is the state of this is what these elites, this is what these globalists rely on, these enforcers, these foot soldiers, these low IQ normies, these Joe normies, these Karens, to kind of enforce, to allow this to happen. If everyone was, smart and aware, these things wouldn't be allowed to happen, because people would be like, what? I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? They can't enforce these laws if people don't cooperate. Let's see. Spritzer says, views on accelerationism. Accelerationism. Oh yeah. So that's a good accelerationism. I mean, interesting. What are my views on it? I think that's kind of, some people want to see shit hit the fan. Some people want to see things like, they think it's not gonna get any better. It's unsalvageable. So they want to see it all go up in flames sooner rather than later. I kind of get their point. It's like someone who would support. So by accelerationism, you mean someone who actually who would support Trump, but wants Biden to win just so shit hits the fan quicker. Is that the kind of thing you mean? I'm guessing that's what you mean. The smart guys don't. What is it? Under Cable's hat. The smart guys don't even interact 90% of the time. I mean, yeah, if you're a smart guy, you're not gonna really interact with the normies. You're better off not interacting with these people. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant, Spritzer. Yeah, so yeah, I get it. If you want to see things, like if you want a kind of a restart, I get the philosophy behind accelerationism. Let it all go to shit. Give them, it's like someone that can't drive. You're like, they're saying, oh, I can drive that car. I'm a great driver, and you're like, okay, yeah, get behind the wheel, just let them crash the car, and just like, yeah, okay, you can't drive for shit, you suck. Let people pay for their stupidity. Sometimes you just gotta let people make their own mistakes, to because you know yeah. So I was gonna say something about yeah, that brings me to a final point about what was it? Yeah, the smart guys don't even, yeah. So under cable Cabales hat, it says yeah. So the smart guys don't interact. That just reminds me of a point that when you're dealing with women, especially with online, um, of course, you're gonna have to interact with them because you wanna be having sex with them. So it just you shouldn't go down these rabbit holes with women. You should always avoid any kind of political talk with women. Um, that's what guys are for. That's what your friends are for. You don't talk about you don't go down these rabbit holes with women when it comes to your opinions about accelerationism or philosophies on life and all the kind of things you talk about with guys. This Women can't process this. They, like I said, they'll think you're a weirdo. They'll think you're a creep if you disagree with the normal uh, basically whatever the mainstream media says. Their brains won't be able to process the fact that you think the mainstream media might be lying. Um, it's pointless. So the best something that you can take away from this is maybe whenever because this beer bug isn't going away anytime soon. So when you're dealing with women online and they try and steer you towards a conversation about it, or they say that they can't meet because of it, or um, try and don't go starting to talk about statistics with them and evidence, because their minds don't understand the statistics or evidence or facts. They don't think in a rational way. They want to feel emotion. So these kind of facts and rationale and evidence don't um, don't do it for them, because they saw a video on the mainstream media that showed someone dying of something, and it really it got them all emotional. And so your rationale and evidence based arguments aren't gonna make you it's not going to make them sleep with you. So whenever they go down this rabbit hole, you need to steer the conversation, kind of not necessarily agree, but change the topic, like bring it around. So a woman might say, you might be messaging a girl on whatever online, you might have matched with her on Bumble or whatever, and she says, "Oh, I can't meet because of Corona." Yeah, just forget about what she said. It doesn't matter. She will meet if you don't go down that rabbit hole with her. You just change the topic. You just say, "Oh yeah, 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 it's a crazy time or whatever. Yeah, yeah, this year is crazy or whatever," and then change, and then you'll after a while you'll just say, "Oh, let's meet for a coffee," and then she'll forget about what she just said about not meeting, and she will meet you, and she'll come back to your house, and then she'll bang you. So, but if you said, "Oh, the beer bug is actually not as dangerous as most people think," I wouldn't believe the mainstream media. That's all bullshit. She'll like block you. Like she'll think you're a creep. Like she'll freak out. They're idiots. All right. So yeah, no logic. Artemis is definitely 100% no logic. Um, yeah, they're running on Intel. Yeah, 3 is that discussing logic with a woman is like talking politics with a baby. That's a good point. Yeah, you think it's cute, but everyone else thinks you're crazy. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's the most annoying part of for those of us who think we're letting that get to us. Yeah, so just be aware. Just be aware. Don't let your politics out of the bag when you're dating, when you're doing game. I mean, after you really dick a woman down and you really show her a good time, you can pretty much say anything to her and she might become less retarded. You can kind of teach them, but before that, you're not going to it's just going to be it's not going to be fruitful if you go down that road. Stick to talking about this stuff in your inner circle with your red pill friends, with your whoever your closest contact. You don't need to go trying to convert these normie women. It's not very productive. You're not going to change them. um what is it? Spritcher says, massive recall of hand sanitizer from public schools in Ireland due to the E. coli fears that the world is burning. I'm laughing. Low IQ nation. Uh, oh, nothing surprises me about Ireland anymore. Nothing surprises me. That is, yeah. Who would have thought it would have gotten so bad? But like I said, just make your own try and make your own situation better. Try and because if you get bogged down in the reality of the world, if you think you're going to change what is going on a massive scale, you're not. You're just going to have to make your own personal situation better when it comes to money, muscles, and game. Yeah, so that's been going here for around an hour. So I'm probably gonna roll out. Thanks all for joining. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna be going here Monday to Friday, as from 8 p.m. Japan time, and so I'll be back here on Monday, and come and join in the conversation, talking about the reality of dating in the modern world. So have a good one wherever you're at. Peace out. Catch you on Monday. All right. Good luck.